Should you give to charity? Yes. Yes, you should. But how much should you give? Easy. As much as you want. But which charity should you give to? The best ones, obviously. But what makes a charity the best? Or even a good one? How do we make sure that the work being done by the charities we're donating to is really helping people? And more importantly, if that work is effective? Now, those are a lot of questions to unload on you at once. So, I'm going to try my best to help you answer them today. Fortunately for me, there's a growing community of people working to answer these and so many other questions. They're called effective altruists, and I'm one of them. And we think effective altruism is a damn good idea. Let's get into it. Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Adam, and this is Making a Difference. So, effective altruism. What is it exactly? How does it work? First, we need to go back to 2015. 2015. Remember the world before 2016 happened? In 2015, 2 books were released that changed my and thousands of others' lives. The first book to come out was The Most Good You Can Do, by fearless philosopher Peter Singer, shortly followed by Doing Good Better, Effective Altruism and a Radical New Way to Make a Difference, by the leader of this emerging movement, McCaskill. I love this book. I really do. So much so that I have 2. Actually, I have 3. This one's a highlighting copy. And in the middle of the shit show that was 2016, they inspired me to commit myself to good ideas and ideas that do good, starting with this one. Peter Singer is a brilliant and controversial philosopher born in 1946 in Melbourne, and has focused his career on asking and answering the most difficult questions of morality and ethics. He has continued to teach and lead thinking at Monash, Melbourne, New York, and Princeton universities. This commitment has led him to a life of utilitarianism, altruism, veganism, and a variety of other measures implemented with the sole intention of doing as much good as possible. One of his signature contributions to the effective altruism community came with the formation of his organization, The Life You Can Save. Singer really has maintained his altruistic crusade to decrease suffering and increase well-being for all, imploring us to see what should be the most basic goal for moral beings. As he puts it, the greatest good of the greatest number. Now, for McCaskill. Basically, he's too smart for his own good. Born in 1987, oh yeah, he's a millennial, Will became the youngest tenured professor of philosophy in the world at one of the smallest and most obscure philosophy departments in Great Britain. He went to Oxford, where he received his PhD and still teaches. Since his undergraduate at Cambridge, another smaller British university. Basically, if you're not sure about the consequences of a decision, how can you know for sure that you're making the most moral decision? It's a good question. For example, should you spend 100 Rand on some takeout? Or maybe you could buy a couple malaria-treated bed nets. However, our normative tendency is to prioritize and value moral decisions that impact our more immediate family, friends, and kin than someone on the other side of the world. Well, he chose bed nets, arguing we should do the same. And he and effective altruism haven't stopped since. In addition to being EA's foremost advocate and thinker, he founded the Center for Effective Altruism, Giving What We Can, and 80,000 hours, and plans to donate over half his income over the course of his life. Life goals, am I right? No? We'll get there. Usually, he says in his first episode, I do a little history on altruism and charitable giving, or something like that. But I said a brief description, and I mean it, damn it. So, for today, we'll just say that altruism is an ethical principle and moral practice in which a person feels an unselfish concern for the happiness and well-being of others, which usually results in charitable giving or similar altruistic efforts in order to reduce suffering and improve the quality of life of all human beings. Now, that's altruism, and it's a really good idea, but I think there's a little room for improvement. That's where the effective part comes in. This extra ideological step offers an opportunity to more fully consider the context and reality of what intervention is needed. If you're living in poverty in Europe or the United States, it means something fundamentally different to a person living in sub-Saharan Africa or Latin America or the Middle East. Suffering simply means more in these parts of the world, and improving their quality of life will inevitably be more complex. A big part of being effective means being able to prioritize the most important causes and having to weigh up their relative importance. In addition to economic insecurity felt by billions, the global south has an added burden of disease, a lack of access to basic services, homes in difficult and dangerous circumstances, and exposure to violence and systemic oppression, especially for women and young girls. In addition to this kind of thinking, rigorous and extensive controlled testing, economic analysis, debates and counterfactuals come together to find the most impactful, repeatable solutions to these difficult problems. And this is what makes altruism effective. We shouldn't just want to do good. We need to ask, how do we do the most good possible? Whew, that was a lot. Let's make it a little easier to incorporate effective altruistic thinking into your daily life. And we're back. He asked 5 key questions to help us make the best choice when it comes to what cause or charity or action we're thinking of committing ourselves to. First, how many people benefit and by how much? 2, is this the most effective thing you can do? 3rd, is this area neglected? And 4, what would have happened otherwise? Also known as the counterfactual. And finally, what are the chances of success and how good would success be? Oh, so good. So good. So simple. I'm going to keep bringing these up, and I'm going to dedicate a ton of video time to exploring these 5 questions more fully. So we're at the end of the video now, and I just realized I still haven't given a definition of what effective altruism is, which is, as all good ideas should be, a pretty simple one. Effective altruism is a philosophy and emerging movement that suggests using your time and money to do as much good over your lifetime as you possibly can, by using evidence, reason, and careful thinking to make choices that will most improve people's quality of life, reduce suffering of humans and animals alike, and reducing the likelihood of catastrophic risk for our current world and for future occupants of it too. Okay guys, that's it. I'll see you soon. And a little bonus tip for you is to use the growing supply of amazing resources and information on the work being done by organizations all over the world that can be found at the brilliant and informative charity aggregators GiveWell, Giving What We Can, and The Life You Can Save. Links in the doobly-doo. It's a great place to start and get introduced to the absolute best charities and the most impactful causes around.